Well, hello. Haven't made a video for a while. I've kind of been tied up with some other projects, and we had out-of-town company, and one thing after another. I was not able to get back to the video camera. But then I decided I've not done a piece of artwork or drawing or anything for quite a while. So I thought I might draw our friend here, Salvador Dali, one of my favorite artists. And what I've done at this point is I printed out his black and white photo on a grid, a 1-inch grid, and then I reproduced the grid on the drawing paper. Now it's taped down, but it doesn't need to be taped down anymore, so I'm going to take this off. Once you have the lines on there, really no need to have this taped down, so I'll get rid of that. And here I think you can see is the grid, and if you'll notice on the original, the drawing doesn't start till actually 3/8 of an inch into this square right here, and the top of the drawing is 5/8 of an inch into this square here. So that's what I've done here. If you can see it, I've drawn a line 3/8 of an inch down the page and 5/8 of an inch across the top. And that means that we can get started. So here are my drawing pencils. Here are the blending sticks right here, an eraser here, a gummed eraser over here, and I use a compass for my scaling so that I can see how far in from the edge of a square a line starts. And then we have a Tombow eraser, which has a very fine tip on the top for erasing lines. Comes in very handy when you're doing some detail work. You can get rid of some lines that you don't need, and it won't affect the rest of the drawing. So I think I'm about ready to get started. Let's see where I'm going to begin first. I'm not sure at this point, but let's try and figure that out. Now I'm going to use this Palomino Blackwing 602 pencil to do just the general outline on the paper to get started. Now I'm going to start in this square on the drawing paper. So what I need to find out is the dimensions of this part of the drawing. So what I'm going to do with the scale, I'll put it on this line and I'll move it so that I can see where that starts, if you can see that. So that means that we're working on the very last square, and we want to see where that starts from here, which of course is right here on this line. And then we'll go from the top of that line and see how far over that I need to go. So that would be right here, and then it's just a matter of drawing that down a little bit. Oops, let me get it in the picture for you. Just drawing that down a little bit. You know, to start is just very simple. We'll just color that in a little bit. Nowhere near being finished with that, but it will give me an idea where I need to go. Now that continues down just a little bit. So let's take a look at the drawing again. Let's put the scale on it and let's see how far over we need to go to get his hair in. Now I measured where his hair ends, which is right here. and where his head starts, which is right here. And if you look at the photo, you'll see that the head ends right in this corner of these squares. So that would be pretty easy to draw. So let's just draw that in like that. Okay. So we have the edge of his head. We have the hair here, continuing. And we have some hair here that's kind of squiggly. Some hair here sticking out. Just roughly put that in. Okay? Just like that. Now we'll probably use we'll have to go with a much darker pencil to get this hair in. Now let me pick a dark one and come back over with this, which I think is pretty dark, and we'll put in this hair. Leave a few strands out there. Okay. Now if you notice in the photo, if I can get this to show you, there right in here there's a bit of a shadow right in here. So we want to put that in. I'm going to put that in. I'm going to use a 3H pencil, which is a hard pencil, and I want this to be fairly light, so we're just going to put that in just a little in through here. Now we'll take a blender and blend that in a little bit. Now that may be a little too heavy. I'll lighten it up a little bit with this eraser. Something like that. Now I've been doing some more drawing right in this square. Top of the eyebrow here, some more hair, a line going through here. Let's see what that looks like on the drawing. And that's what I've done to this point right here. Drawn in some of the eyebrow, a little bit of the top of the eye, a little bit more of the forehead, done a little bit more shading. So that's where we're at right now.
6.5 hours later.
Well, guess what? The paper that I printed the first picture on was a grid. But I found out that the grid squares were not exactly 1 inch by 1 inch, which threw the entire drawing off. So I started completely over. Here's where I'm at right now. I've gotten to this point. I'll give you a little closer look at that. That's where I'm at right now, and we'll be continuing on from there. sometimes things go wrong and you have to start completely over again. Not too big a deal. But anyway, let's get going. Here's something interesting. When trying to draw this eyebrow in, putting it right here just seemed like it was way out of proportion, way in the wrong place. But then when you look at it, and I've got a little more work to do on it, but it is in the right place. And if I was drawing that completely freehand without a grid, I would have never put it there. My eye would just not have reacted the same way. I would have put it down lower. And then by the time I got the eye in, I'd probably be way out of proportion. It's going to be interesting to see when we get this eye in how it looks. I hope it looks like the picture. But just looking at it, especially from my point of view, it doesn't look right. But I think it's going to be right. Stay tuned, we'll find out. Now, as you can see right here, I'm measuring for the eye and starting to work on that. Now here, at this point, I've already drawn in the eye, and it's pretty much finished at this point. Taking a look at the shadow under the nose, and I'm kind of outlining where that shadow goes and putting it in very lightly. So here's a little close-up of how things look, and again working on the nose shadow. So I'm going to end part one of this video right here while I work on this. And in the next video, I'm kind of excited because we're going to work on his mustache. And the question is his mustache real or is it fake? We're going to answer that question in the next video. Be sure and be here.